And good morning, everyone. Yes, this is Wednesday morning. Oh dear, I need some olive oil. I don't have much, but that'll work. Anyway, cooking the doggies breakfast for Wednesday morning. This morning's gonna be a little different because I haven't been down to the butcher's yet. So, pretty cute. So this morning's is going to consist of a carrot, mushrooms, fresh ones, 2 pork loins, seared, broccoli, green beans, and cauliflower. So let's get this going. There we go. And what? Let's get some duck fat. Duck fat's actually better for them than a lot of other things, and since I can't get to the pantry right now, I will use duck fat. Thistle, you need to move, honey. Come on. Go lay down. So just take some duck fat. Put it in here. It'll melt nicely. I'll put it over there. Put it back for later. Yeah, I'm a little discombobulated this morning. But I'll get there. I will get there. I think I need to just keep this over. Oh. Carrot. If you cut the carrot in half before you start cutting it, it's actually easier. I'm just doing decent sizes because, you know, Thistle started chewing better, which is good. So I don't need to make them mushy anymore. And I just realized, yep, the kitchen light is not on. That's all. Shows how good lighting there is in here. I do 1 carrot because I've read that if you give too many carrots, it can cause a yeast problem in dogs, which is itchiness. And they're itchy enough because they're blowing out their summer coat, or their winter coat, rather. Yeah, they're still doing that, so. So how are you all doing this morning? Hope you're doing well. There's that. And that was not expected. Okay. Put it down a bit. That hurts. Oh, okay, buddy. She always comes to check on me. Whenever I make any weird noises or sound like I've been hurt. And that's calming down. I think I'm going to throw these in here, sear them a little bit, get that duck fat flavor on it for them. I've noticed that they like sausages, which is what I gave them yesterday for supper. They had no problem eating it. And it's homemade sausage, or handmade sausage from the butcher's. It was tomato sausages, so just something to keep in mind. You know, they don't put too much tomato in it, but just enough. I mean, tomato is good for the heart. So, not only of human, but of doggy. You just don't give them too much of it. You know, don't give it to them every meal. Everything in moderation, right? Yeah. Go away. And a little bit of garlic. Go. Yeah, I know there's duck fat in there, but the coconut oil is different. Let's see, I'll put that in here as well. Coconut oil really makes a difference with their coats and their skin. Any issues they might have as far as itchiness or their coat. Yeah. Between the coconut oil and the salmon oil, it's all good. Just grabbing their dishes so I could prep them as I did yesterday, or no, the day before. I lost a day somewhere. I lost a day, that's not good. Let's put that on there. In there. And one here. Dr. Florets. 5, 6. And a bit of green beans. You don't want to give it, that green beans is another thing you don't want to give them too much of. So notice when you give it to, when I was giving it to Sterling in just about every meal, he ended up with beans in his poo, so that's how I know he's getting too much of it. I mean, green veggies are good, but the dogs are not vegetarians. They're not vegans. You shouldn't force a dog to be vegan, because that's not what they are. They're omnivores. They eat everything. Grains, veggies, and beef or meat. If I could find some venison, I would go for that. I may look into that though. We'll see. There we go. 2, 5, 6. And what the heck? There we go. A little bit of salmon oil in the bowls. Do I need to turn on the overhead light, or are you guys good? If I can do without the electricity, I will. And I put it in their bowls instead of in the pot, because if I put it in the pot, then I'm not sure that they get equal amounts. One might get more than the other, and we can't have that. It's not a good thing. Let's see, veggie bouillon. I knew these would come in handy someday. Yeah, this pot doesn't have a handle on it anymore. There we go. Yeah, I happened to drop it. It landed upside down and went crack. So, not much I can do. That's life, you know? It happens. Oops. Let's do this one instead. last night we had pizza and chips. I made some fried mushrooms that were so good. And unfortunately I left them out. They're still good. Okay, that'll work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut these mushrooms up. If I cut up too many on the board at one time, it kind of bogs it down. Makes it difficult to cut any more. This way I could just reach a handful in there, grab some, and put it in their pot with the rest of the veggies, which always makes things a lot easier. Yeah, somebody gifted us a lot of mushrooms, so we're just now coming to the end of them, which is good. Mushrooms are actually very beneficial. They have B vitamins, they have niacin, riboflavin, thiamine, all that good stuff in it. All the stuff the body needs to be healthy. And mine's getting there. I didn't have as bad a headache last night as I have before. I think something's going on with my lymph nodes, which would stand to reason. Trying to get all the toxins from the U.S. out of my system. So I've been drinking a detox tea. Seems to be working so far. Only done it 2 days. So. My husband was looking at pictures, old pictures of us and of me, and the other day, and he said that I have lost weight. He could see it in the pictures, and yeah, you can. That person looking back at me from those pictures is a totally different person. It's like, okay, where'd the other person go in the picture? But that's a good thing. You know, I have lost what I consider a tremendous amount of weight on the Fast 800. Anyway, let's see how this is going. Good. I've got the mushrooms cooking. Pork is cooking. I can turn this back up again. Hopefully it won't spit at me. That hurt. Over there. You always want to make sure the mushrooms are fully cooked before giving it to dogs. And yeah, I know they wouldn't have them cooked in the wild, but unless they happen upon somebody's campfire and said, hey, can I borrow that for a minute? I gotta cook this. Which I doubt would happen. Funny for a cartoon or a show, but, you know. And that would be husband. He made it to work. for me for a second. Okay, crank it. Just doing a pre-prep for the other meals. Now while this stuff is cooking, if you pre-prep for your other meals, then the other meals are going to go very smoothly. And then you're not doing too many dishes later on. Go. Okay, let's see. Keep it. And that's done all the way through. That's good. Taste test. Let's taste test one. Trying to move the camera so you can see Stirling. There he is. Careful. Careful. Ooh. Like me, huh? Try it forward a little bit. Come here, Thistle. And they approve. So back to the cooking. Good, good, good. Come on. Back up, Jess. I'm fine. Now, cooked meat is fine to use on this board after the veggies. I just don't put raw meat on it. Raw meat, I have a board especially for that. Cutting board, that is. Now, buddy, you'll get more in your dish. Go lay down. You're fine. One escaped. Oh no! Come back here. Yep, all good. Go. Sit, buddy. Sit. Sit, sit. Good boy. Yeah. You're not going to get any more until it cools off thoroughly, honey. You know that. Don't want to mess up your stomach. Since this is thistles. Make sure all my burners are off. No. And again, this is just pork loin or pork chops, depending on where you are, what country you're in. Broccoli, cauliflower, a little bit of green beans, a carrot, and well-cooked mushrooms. They're just chestnut mushrooms. If I could find turkey tails, I would. But we have not found any as yet. So, search goes on. There we go. See? Doesn't it look good? And I cut hers up a little bit smaller because of her tooth. Make it as easy as possible for her to eat. And the mushrooms, those are definitely thoroughly cooked. What do you think? Yeah. Half in there. Half in there. What, Thistle? Did you lose it again? I take it that was thirsty because you went and drank. Or was I hearing things? There we go. And this. Veggies. Okay, and put the small ones in there for him because he can eat them just fine. The bigger things I'm going to cut. It's very difficult to cut them when they're frozen, so you have to wait until they're cooked in order to do it. What, Thistle? Little one. things are escaping this morning. There we go. Stop whining, Thistle, please. I haven't had my elixir this morning. Haven't had my detox tea. Nothing yet. So, how I'm still functioning, to be honest, I have no clue. Stop. I don't know where your ball is, honey. You had it last time I saw it, so I don't want to hear it. The vegetable bouillon smells awesome. So I'll pour a little bit of that in there because that gives them vitamin C as well. And I'm trying to keep it under the 30-minute mark, so almost done. There we go. A little bit veggies, broth. And both. That also helps with their water intake. Got to keep them hydrated. It's supposed to get hot this week, so. And there you go. Looks as good as any meal we'd have, right? There we go. Now this will go up on the counter under the cover to cool off for about 90 minutes or so. So I can put my finger in it and not burn the daylights out of it. This has been Canine Buffet Cooking Show. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. We'll see you next time. Take care.